Friends, Salvation Army is a model for everything that I have fought for over the last 8 years in the United States House of Representatives.
The Salvation Army helps people like me.
Many times, the Salvation Army would supply us with clothes and things that we didn't have at that time in my youth.
The Salvation Army helps people like me.
This is definitely where my heart is, to help needy people, needy families. So I am here very, very proud.
The Salvation Army helps people like me.
I've always loved the Salvation Army, and throughout my career as a reporter and then in the governor's office, I witnessed the Salvation Army on the ground doing good where people needed it most.
The Salvation Army helps people like me.
After all of the years that I have been involved with this organization, that there is no charitable institution that is able to put resources to better use than the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army helps people like me.
The Salvation Army is passionate.
The Salvation Army's mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination.
I give a lot of credit to the Salvation Army and leading me into getting back in touch with who I am and what I am and whose I am. I am connected with the Salvation Army in church because we found out having a spiritual relationship has a great big part to play in recovery. And these things that I learned at Salvation Army, I learned the tools and how to apply the tools, and that regardless of what goes on in my life, that I don't have to drink and drug. And these are the things that help me to be a person that I'm not a part of the problem today, but I'm a part of the solution.
The Salvation Army is uplifting.
People need to know that things can be better than they are. The Salvation Army is a place of hope.
Well, the most uplifting thing about it was the chapel services. You know, I had grown up with this idea that God was to be feared, and the people here really helped me to start to understand that God loves me. And it's not about being in trouble or anything like that. And the chaplains are such a living example to me. I started to learn that there really were people who could say that they had faith in God and say that they love God and mean it. When I first got to the Salvation Army, I was kind of beat up and everything from prison, and I got here and I was still thinking, you know, God, please don't let me be so lonely all the time. After that, I just started getting more and more involved, and at some point I realized, you know what, God is answering my prayer. I'm not lonely. That was the hope. I mean, that was where the hope came from. We know that every day the people that come to work here, you know, they see a lot of things that could be discouraging, and they just don't let it discourage them. God did a lot of wonderful things for me at the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army is compassionate.
Caring for the poor, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, loving the unlovable, befriending the friendless.
I found out real fast here how caring and supportive that they was. I was treated up here not so much as a homeless person when I got in here, but I had hugs and I had love, and they treated me with respect and kindness. My caseworkers here, they were wonderful. I couldn't thank them more for the things that they did for me. I turned around and I told her, I said, I'm having some problems and I need some help. I said, I have nowhere else to turn. I've been